Hello! Welcome to Levels Plus Weekly episode 54. And it's a bit of a breezy one this week, but I think it's a really interesting episode. I'm going to look through all of my games and go onto Pricecharting and see which games are considered the most expensive. And this was a fun exercise. I did record this a couple weeks ago, so I'm wearing a completely different outfit for the main content. But I really enjoyed it, and I hope that that comes across in the final product. So without further ado, let's travel back in time. So let's get started with price charting. So I went through my collection just in my head while at lunch today and was like, I wonder what is actually the games that are going to have the highest amount attached to them on price charting. And thought it might be fun to kind of share what I thought and then actually find out what it is. I haven't looked at price charting in several months, and all I know is that over the pandemic, video game prices have gone astronomical, so it might be a wild ride finding out what these cost. So let's speculate first. These are the games that I thought would win. So for the NES, my boxed copy of Dragon Warrior 4. For the Super Nintendo, which I only have 2 games, just my cart of Super Metroid. For the N64, my complete Ogre Battle 64. For the GameCube, Skies of Arcadia Legends. For the Wii, my collector's edition of The Last Story. For the Wii U, Breath of the Wild, which I think is not really that rare, but just because it was like one of the last Wii U games out there, and I don't really have anything else that's really rare. I'm making a stab at it. For the Switch, Gris, the signature edition from Special Reserve, specifically. The GBA Tactics Ogre, The Knights of Lotus Complete. For the DS, I'm feeling Dragon Quest V Complete. For the 3DS, I think Fire Emblem Echoes, the Collector's Edition, is going to be the one out of what I got. And then for my non-Nintendo platforms, for the Dreamcast, I'm feeling Project Justice is going to be it. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is going to give it a run for its money, but I think that this is going to be the one. For the PS1, I feel Valkyrie Profile. For the PS2 was hard because I actually have a lot of rare PS2 games, but I decided to go with Shadow Hearts Covenant. For the PS3, I don't really have anything rare, so Resonance of Fate is the best I've got, and I don't think that's going to be rare at all. And then for the PS4 and PS5, because I don't have enough between the two to really separate them, I'm going with the Guilty Gear Strive limited edition that came with the pass and all that stuff. Alright, I am set up on price charting for the NES. So let's get started. So what I'm going to do is just look through here. This excludes hardware and is currently sorted by complete and box price. If it's cart alone or disc alone, which I don't have many examples of that, we'll sort by the loose price. So let's see here. What blows my mind is how much Mega Man is. Even in Japan, it's expensive. So Metal Storm, the original, technically would be the one that is the most expensive, but I don't have the original edition. But there's Dragon Warrior 4, which is currently at $419. So I'm going to still say that I guessed correctly, and I can't say I'm too surprised about what I am seeing here. Donkey Kong Jr. math being what it is just dumbfounds me every time. So let's move into you know, while we're here, I thought about, since I have so many Famicom games, and most of them are loose, let's just see out of this what I have that's the top. My guess was Layla. So Lagrange Point is currently the most expensive game that I have in terms of the Famicom. Let's head over to the Super Nintendo. And this will be loose price. And we're still excluding hardware. So, Super Metroid or UN Squadron. Those are what we're looking for. Yeah, I haven't even seen it. So I think what we'll do, just to speed this up a little bit, is we'll do Super Metroid. So the Super Nintendo Player's Choice is actually a little bit more than the original for some reason. So that's $77.99. The competition is UN Squadron, which is $29.97. So I did get that one right. So I'm 2 for 2 so far. I'm doing great. Nintendo 64. We're gonna do complete in box price. And let's see here, because I've got a couple rare ones. Yep, there it is. 310.63. My other guess was Harvest Moon 64, which is right behind it. But I assumed that Ogre Battle would be the one. Harvest Moon 64 being second doesn't surprise me, though, because that's supposedly one of the best ones in the series. So, alright, the GameCube. We're doing complete here, so let's see. There's Skies of Arcadia Legends at $176.75. That one was easily my top choice in terms of rarities on the GameCube. Kind of curious where the next one that I have would fall. Ikaruga is second at $82.31. Okay, Wii. I guess the last story. Yep, the limited edition, $107.75. Pretty happy that I've been mostly right on this so far. I do have a couple kind of rare Wii games. Tatsunoko vs. Capcom is the next one. That's actually not as rare as I thought it would be. It sold pretty well. Wii U. Wii U's going to be the hard one because, like I said, I don't suspect that Breath of the Wild is going to be that high. So yeah, well, there it is. First print. $168.42. I got it at launch. So it's actually higher than I thought it was. And SteamWorld Collection's actually worth a fair amount now. And I do have that. So, interesting. So far, I've nailed every single one. I'm kind of impressed with myself. For the Switch, Gris Signature Edition is the most expensive one on there. That one I didn't think had changed, and I understand why. There's only 250 of those in existence. And it's an absolutely delightful, gorgeous edition. I guess River City Girls Classic Edition is second. And then eventually, when I get my Castlevania Anniversary Collection, it'll be number 3. And that's where those all lie. So that's all of the console Nintendo stuff. Let's move into the Game Boy Advance. So I guess Tactics Ogre. But I'm wrong. I am wrong. It's actually Metroid Zero Mission at $248.25, followed by Castlevania Aria of Sorrow at $235.19, and then Fire Emblem at $219.90. You know, I originally went with Fire Emblem before I remembered I had Tactics Ogre, And apparently I should have stuck with it because I would have done better. Tactics Ogre is down here at 169.86. Kind of surprised. The DS. So I guess Dragon Quest V. Yep, there it is at 187.88. In terms of other, like, what would be second? Chrono Trigger, first print. I have that, so that one is 140. And then Dragon Quest VI actually is third, with Ghost Trick not far behind. All right, so last but not least in Nintendo stuff is the 3DS, and I don't really have a whole lot rare here. That's why I went with the Fire Emblem Echoes Special Edition. So let's see. That's actually Dragon Quest VIII. Dragon Quest VIII is at 114.99 with the limited edition of Echoes right behind it. How fascinating. So for Nintendo, I did really well. I only got 2 wrong. Let's see about Sega. Let's jump into the Dreamcast. There's Project Justice, right where I thought it would be at 280. And then Marvel vs. Capcom 2, 179. And then Skies of Arcadia. So those are the top 3 there. You know, it's wild looking at these lists and going, wow, I had some of these at one point. All right, let's move into Sony Land with the PS1. Valkyrie Profile is right at the top. That's actually one of the more expensive ones. And Symphony of the Night and Silent Hill are right next to each other. So, glad I got that one right. Let's see about the PS2, because I think this is actually going to be the most competitive out of all of these, to be honest. So, you know, I have a fair amount of rare stuff for the PS2. It's actually Suikoden 5, 150.07. Silent Hill 3, I don't have complete. I have the disc and the manual, so that doesn't count. The original Shadow Hearts is actually goes for more. Wow. So that's number 2. Silent Hill 2, same situation as Silent Hill 3. I only have the manual and the disc. I actually have the Greatest Hits edition. And then technically Grandia Extreme. I have that, but I don't think it's I think it's like got a rental thing on it. And there's Covenant there. So yeah, I'm kind of surprised that it was actually Suikoden 5. Alright, for the PlayStation 3, this one, I don't have anything rare. So I went with the one that made the most sense in terms of rarity. But I think we're going to be here for a little while, so we'll pause until I actually find something I own. Alright, it's actually Dead Space 2, the Collector Edition. Which wasn't really that fancy, it just included Extraction. But that is the one. That is my rarest PS3 game. Or at least the one that costs the most. And I've completely lost track of everything else. Trying to find it again. So it was Dead Space 2, so I was wrong there. I don't have many PlayStation 4 games, but I do have enough PlayStation 5. Oh, it's actually the Omega Edition. And there's the Ultimate Edition. So they weren't too far apart. But the Omega Edition is the actual King of Fighters 15. It's my actual rarest Gotta quit saying rare. Most expensive. Followed by Guilty Gear Strive. And I don't really think I have anything else that would be even worth looking up on here, since everything else is pretty new. Just for the sake of curiosity, though, let's see what PS4 is real quick. Alright, I scrolled for a long while and I didn't find it. So, well, that was fun. That was a very entertaining little exercise, and I am very impressed that I got most of them right. I think there was only 3 or 4 total that I got that I was off the mark. So that's not bad. All right, before I end the video, I do have one pickup that came in, and it is the PS4 version of Resident Evil 2 Remake. I heard wonderful things. I've watched people play it. I can't wait to play it for myself. I also only paid 99 cents for it because it was on clearance and I had coupons. So, very, very magical experience. So, now that we're back in the present, let's go ahead and end the video proper after some cats. All right, we're back to the present. So, I wore this shirt for a reason because Dragon Quest ended up winning a couple of those platforms, which doesn't surprise me, really. It's kind of disappointing, though, because some of those games really need to be on modern systems, which just kind of continues that entire discussion about game preservation and maintaining your catalog on all of your systems. I would love to be able to play The Last Story, Dragon Quest V, you know, just being able to play that on the Switch would just be so nice. So I'm hoping that someday I'll get to sail with Vice again on the Switch or something of the sort. But for now, that is this week's episode. But I've got a cool idea for moving into June. I'm calling it Hype Month. Between 3 of my most anticipated games of the year coming out in June, along with game pressers and all that stuff, there's just going to be a lot to get excited about in June. So I think I'm going to spend 3 of those weeks covering the 3 games I'm most excited about, which Fire Emblem 3 Hopes, Capcom Fighting Collection, and Pocky and Rocky Reshrined. Just doing a special episode focusing on those games and things about that series or that company, and in Pocky and Rocky's case, since I haven't played them before, that I really enjoy. And then we'll also have a whole bunch of not E3 coverage because E3 is dead. So there will be Summer Games Fest, Wholesome Direct, Guerrilla Collective. I'm sure Nintendo will have a Direct. So we'll do live reactions to all of those. I don't think I'm going to speculate this year because I think I just want to go into things with as open a mind as possible. But there will be lots of reactions and such to get us through June. So it'll be a nice, steady flow of content that I'm excited to produce. So I hope you will join me for that. Until next week, my dear friends, thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful week. Take care.